Welcome everyone to Women Arising. And with me today is Cathy. And Cathy is my playmate. We play a lot together at Women Arising. She is my partner in crime with this. We started doing this in Sedona, Arizona a few years ago, and she's been my partner for the past 3 years. And just
5,
is it 5 we've been doing it together? Okay, 5 we've been doing it together. Sorry. And then it was just this incredible way of us meeting each other, because she came to the first one. Actually, you're right. You came to the first one. And then she said, okay, I love this. I want to be part of it. And I love having her here. It's an honor for me to work with her. She's an amazing human being. She's just, I don't know how to explain her. She's got so much fire in her, but you know, it's one of those fires that kind of comes out a little bit at a time, but when it comes out, it comes out. That's why I love her so much, because she's a little bit different than me. I'm more just here, but her fire is, yes, you know, builds. And she's done a lot. She's done from theater to metaphysical, but we're gonna find all that out, because I really, you know, I like her to tell us exactly what she's all about, and I'm gonna ask her questions, and she's gonna be the first video that you're gonna watch. But thank you, Cathy, for everything you've done for me and with me. I really appreciate having you in my life, and I'm very honored. So tell us a little bit about you, how you started in the path, and what is this about for you? Why you chose the Women Arising after the first year you connected with us?
Well, thank you, Cathy. And it is an honor to host this with you. It's been, it was very kismet and something that I felt was meant to be. I was very fortunate. I was raised in this sort of honoring the divine feminine, celebrating the solstices, sort of, you know, I knew astrology when I was like 6 years old, you know, so it was really part of my path in life. And my mom was my guide and my teacher, and she was very entrenched in all of this and in sort of, you know, being a feminist and standing in women's power and fighting for women's power. So that was sort of how I was raised. And then as I became an adult, it kept unfolding for me. And when I was in college, I was very lucky to take a course with a woman named Gumbatas, and she is the premier archaeologist who basically uncovered all of the goddess figures and the goddess culture and really fought for it until, of course, she was demonized, because she was saying, hey, the goddess was really the foundation of civilization, and people in the male archaeological world did not want to hear that, even though she was probably one of the most revered archaeologists in the world. So I studied, I took a class from her, and it really got me to understand what that journey was and what my birthright was with the goddess. And I also simultaneously, I was in school in Colorado, and I took Southwest Studies courses. I was a Southwest Studies minor, and I got to go to all of these native places in the Southwest in America and study these matrilineal cultures. And so by the time I was 21, I had felt like I was devoted to this truth, and that this was going to be something that not only was I going to cultivate for myself in my life, but that I really wanted to make sure I communicated out into the world. And so I was a theater artist. That was my trade for many, many years. And so every play that I chose to direct, I was a director, was all about women. And finding women and finding women's voices and retelling these stories. And I was a college professor, and I took a group of women, and I created a play on the Persephone myth, and I took it to Italy because all of these, the Persephone myth was a big theme for me, and Demeter, like that relationship, mothers and daughters. And I wrote a play all about mothers and daughters, and how when we're dealing with this horrible society, how we as women, our tool is forgiveness, and how we heal all of the sort of cruelty and warfare that we become subjects of. And so my life was really, has been, and continues to be dedicated. Simultaneously, I've been on this spiritual path. And when I finally got to connect with Zephy here in Sedona, I had moved here in Sedona. My parents had lived here for many years. It was 2016, and that was a very tumultuous time. And I think it was right around the election, even when this happened. And I felt like something cracked open in terms of that it's not just enough to like know it for myself, but to also sort of really, I'm going to say, exude it and practice it and connect to it and create a space for women to remember it. And so Zephy had done it so beautifully. I wish all of you could have been there to go through one of our in-person events, because you feel just totally bathed in this beauty and this energy. And I knew at that moment I needed to work with Zephy in particular and to be part of this wonderful experience. And so luckily, after I harassed her for several months, she let me join in on that. And so I'm thrilled today to be able to share with you something about how we're going to reclaim that goddess part of ourselves today. So
I agree. And you did not harass me after a big event. I couldn't think about the next one. You know how that is. But yes, and you know, all you experience and everything you've done in the path is amazing to me. And you know, just connecting to all the different cultures, you know how much I am into the different cultures and all that.
Yes.
So, and that's such an incredible knowledge for us to carry, and we're able to share, because we find in those inner cultures and different cultures that there is a thread, correct? There is a same thread that connects the whole world. So, and I have a feeling,
Absolutely.
yeah, and I have a feeling what you're going to share with us tonight is part of that, you know, thread that is going to connect. So I'm so excited. I'm ready. I'm here to thread and enjoy it, because I know nothing about it yet.
Well, I'm excited. So today, I am really glad to be kicking off the summit with you. And what I'm going to be doing is sort of taking everybody on a shamanic journey to reclaim that goddess energy inside of you. And I want to do this so that you can access your divine feminine power when you need it, and to walk in the world with a sense of wholeness, compassion, and clarity. And I want to start off by talking about how throughout time, the divine feminine has been suppressed. But as women, we know that the goddess exists. It's a knowledge that lives in our collective unconscious. And we know that she exists because we feel her strength. I like to say her beacon of truth. And we know that we have that deep rooted power that we can call on as we need. But unfortunately, we've been gaslit into believing that she was abolished, that she's a figment of our imagination, that she's been erased. And yet, we know better, because we hear her call in everything that we do. And as I like to say, we're sort of longing for her triumphant return. So today, I want to ask us all to allow her full return, and to demand that she's going to rise again in her full glory. Because deep down, we know what the beauty of female power looks like, right? It's that balance of the masculine and the feminine energy. It's strength and compassion. It's fierce love and warrior protectiveness, nurturing and receiving. And we are drawn to her Like, even though she was cast in the shadows and everybody did everything to suppress her and try to wipe her out, she still persists. And today I'm going to ask you to welcome her in, to call her name, to stand in her glory, because today the goddess is rising in you, so you can step into all that you're meant to be and to abandon the smallness that has been thrust upon you, trying to hold you back, and to be unapologetically the glorious woman that you are. So that's our goal today. It's a pretty tough, high goal, but we're going to do it. So I like to,
I'm ready.
yeah. And I like to start at the very beginning, right? So 35,000 years ago, and I don't know if people realize quite how long ago that is. That's like, prehistory, even before the Ice Age, like really at the very dawn of humanity. There was a time when we lived in harmony and women were worshiped for the miracle they were. And that persisted all the way up until like 5,000 BC, right? So this was the way of life. And these early societies, they were radically different in numerous aspects from what came later and what maybe we're more familiar with. And some of the evidence of this was that they had equal burial patterns, right? So like the men weren't buried in a more exalted way than the women. They were buried equally. There was an absence of weapons and organized warfare. So this suggested that these societies had a sophisticated cultural development, and that they were long-lasting, stable societies, and they had an egalitarian social structure. And these societies really thrived, and that was because they really valued that divine feminine beauty and way of being. And so discovered in these societies, the archaeology revealed that there were all of these different goddess figurines, and that the goddess took many forms. And from the artifacts that were found, we know that she was worshipped in many ways, right? So she was looked at as a source of wisdom, a healer, a ruler of animals, sometimes a prophet, a spirit who resided over death. But predominantly, she was the symbol of fertility, right? She was the giver of life, the energy that provided the crops, fed the animals and humans. And she was known as the Great Mother, the Earth Mother. And her magical powers assured that the food supply and the continuance of the human race. So women have always been associated with magic because they're the creatrix, right? They are the giver of life. And they are the beginning, the middle, and the end, life, death, and rebirth. And we need to reconnect to this energy so we can bring it forth and use it in our everyday lives. So because the goddess has been really repressed, and it hasn't been sort of the way in which we're living in these societies like the ancient ones did, we are going to go down into the shamanic space to really reclaim that which was sort of taken away from us, and connect with those ancient people and reclaim our magic. So to begin our journey, we're going to start with ritual. And a lot of you I know probably practice ritual very often. And the reason that we do ritual is because it helps us delve into our cosmic connection with the universe, and it opens that portal to the mystic realm. And once we're in that mystical realm, that's where so much transformation, healing, and integration can happen. So to perform ritual, there's a few components. You start always with creating sacred space, grounding yourself, clearing the energy, sometimes calling in a guide to assist you on your journey. And then once that has happened, you're going to go set an intention, open the portal, and step into that spiritual connection so that you can experience the body of that ritual, the purpose of that ritual. And then you're going to integrate that journey come back up and close. So that's kind of what we're going to do today. And we're going to go through sort of a shamanic process, which we're going to go into the lower world, which is known as Pachamama, the Great Mother. And I'm going to take you on that journey. So as we begin to create our sacred space, we always start with circle. And today we're casting a metaphorical circle. And circle is a sacred thing, right? It's been used all over the world in every culture for people to gather, deeply connect, and welcome the deepest knowledge and transform. And circle represents the wholeness of all things. It represents the wholeness both externally and internally, right? Because externally we're forming a physical circle, but we're also creating the wholeness inside, as we'll be calling in all the parts of ourselves today. And today, with all these amazing women around the world, our circle is the globe, and that is really, really powerful. And the other reason I love circle is that from any point on the circle, it's the same distance to the center. And the center represents our truest essence, the core of who we are. And the center of the circle is our source, our deepest knowing, and the truest essence. And so when we come into circle, we're creating a pathway to reconnect with our deepest self and bring wholeness to the power of who we are. And I think it's extremely important for women to come together in circle, because so much of our ancient wisdom was not preserved, and we have to rediscover it. It's been scattered far and wide. And by coming back into the circle, we're rediscovering and claiming the ancient wisdom, because the divine feminine has been so suppressed all these years, we're not whole. But by coming back into the circle, we're creating that wholeness and reclaiming that feminine fire inside ourselves. So to start, let us come together and form this circle. So to start the circle first, let's bring our fullest and most present selves to our work today, so we can have access to our most authentic and beautiful selves. And secondly, we're going to call in the triple goddess, the mother, the maiden, and the crone, because the triple goddess represents life, death, and rebirth, and all the many faces of the goddess. So to begin, we're going to create sacred space so we can open the gates into the deep, great womb and step onto the goddess path. I like to start when we're going into a shamanic journey with little death breathing. This breathing is called little death because just when you actually die in this exercise, you're going to let the ego die and experience a state of communion with spirit. And little death breathing produces a heightened state of consciousness necessary for this journey. And typically, we breathe 12 breaths per minute, but here we're really slowing our breath down. We're breathing just a few breaths per minute, which helps us really go into this trance. So sit comfortably. Take a couple of deep breaths. Close your eyes. Rest your hands in your lap. To start, we're going to inhale to a count of 4. At the end of your inhalation, you'll pause at the top of your breath for another count of 4. Then you'll exhale 1 continuous breath to an additional count of 4 till your lungs feel empty of air. And then you'll pause for another count of 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Now let's just take a moment to clear our energy. You can pull whatever energy needs out of you. If you have a little incense or essential oil, go ahead, feel free to use it. And just take that moment to clear your space and bring yourself into the present. And just declare, I am here now. Now, we're going to call in the 4 directions. Starting in the east, we call in our air, our breath, and our inspiration. This is the place to own your gifts. Open up to all that is known and unknown. Allow yourself to open now to a state of becoming. Moving to the south, we call in our fire, our transformation, and our action. We release our hold on what we no longer need. Let any and all attachments to what was fall away in the south. Moving to the west, call in our water, feeling and reflection. We let die all the stories, attachments that no longer serve us. Find the strength to open our fist, let them go like ashes on the wind. Moving to the west, call in our water. I'm sorry, ending in the north, we call in our earth, our balance, and our wisdom. As we rise up from the ashes and stand in the circle, let us own who we are. Feel the energy strengthening the circle as you stand in your power with all who have walked with you. Mother Earth, we thank you for your support and nurturing, the eternal mother of all beings. Father Sun, Grandmother Moon, we honor you for your light and wisdom this day. May our vision be clear. Now, we call in the triple goddess, the symbol of birth, life, and rebirth, cycle of life, the power of regeneration. Call on the maiden, part of ourselves that is confident strong, belongs only to herself, fearlessly pursues her goals, protects her innocence, and acts with pure intentions. Welcome, powerful maiden. We call on the mother, part of ourselves that is birthing our greatest gifts into the world, nurturing herself and others with kindness and compassion. Is bursting with creativity and passion, is fiercely protecting all that she loves, that finds ease in selflessness and strength in giving. Welcome, Great Mother. We call on the crone, the part of ourselves that holds our greatest wisdom, that has the power of experience and knowing, that guides us clearly on our path. Welcome, wise crone. I'll just take this moment and drop in and go ahead and set your intention. What are you bringing to this experience? What is coming to the surface? What do you intend for this journey? And I'm going to have you bring your hands up above your head and then just drop around to either side, expanding the field around you. And now we're going to do that one more time. And just expanding the field around each other, all of these amazing women in the circle and all over the globe, letting your hands going up through that 8th chakra, feeling the energy around all of us in this timelessness. We're all here together around a holy fire. And we're all in this quantum field. So now just take a moment, listen to your breath, and drop into that inner depth of connection. We're going to allow the gateway of spirit to open. Feel yourself dropping into the other world. And as you begin to enter into the land of spirit, you find yourself stepping onto a white stone forested path. Notice all the lush and beautiful foliage around you. See the trees, feel the sunlight, hear all of the sounds of the animals, the wind, the universe. Let yourself breathe in the clean, delicious air. Hear the sounds of nature. Feel the wind on your skin. See the beauty of the forest. As you walk along this path, let your attention come to something special that's calling you. And as you find this something special that the forest is offering up to you, I want you to go and gather this beautiful thing that you have found in the forest. And this you are going to take with you down to the lower world to give as your offering. And gather this special something. Put it close to your heart. As you continue on this path, you come to a clearing. meadow. Beautiful meadow. The air is cool. The warm sun is on your back. And you feel the cool grass beneath your feet. In the distance, you see a great tree, the tree of life. And it calls to you, beckons to you. And you make your way towards that great tree. And as you draw close, you realize it's the world tree, the sacred tree, the tree of wisdom. The location of the world tree is secret. And this secret is being revealed to you at this moment. For you to venture down into Pachamama, the great womb, to reconnect with the goddess part of you that needs to be reclaimed. This great tree will take you into the depths of the great womb, going down into its roots. And as you come very close to the tree, you feel the humming of the roots beneath your feet. You notice its trunk, wide and inviting. And you look up and you see the branches extending above the clouds. And you are in your luminous body, in your luminous form. And the world tree invites you to enter it. And you step inside the trunk. And you feel what it's like to be inside the world tree. You sense the rivers of sunlight coming down from the leaves, the liquid sunlight, and the water coming in from the roots, healing and cleansing. Waters that remove any toxins or emotions that you cannot bring with you into the goddess realm. And when you are ready, begin descending. Follow one of those rivers of light down towards the roots, going below the surface, allowing that great big taproot to take you down past the giant boulders, past the rich, moist earth, deep into the earth, down into that taproot of the world tree, deep into the belly of the Mother Earth, until it ends on the underground river or stream where the tree drinks from. Step into that stream. Step into this underground river and lie on it. Feel the cool water rushing through you, cleansing, taking away the energies, heaviness that you may not bring with you. Let the current take you deep into the belly of the earth. This pristine water washes you onto the shore. As you stand up and look around you, there's a light to welcome you. Step onto the banks. Notice a great doorway to a sacred temple where you can come to renew and to heal and repair and commune with the rivers, with the trees, with spirit. At the gate is the sacred serpent, Ouroboros. Serpent is the goddess, the feminine passion of sensuality, of the kundalini, the great treasures. She is the guardian. Ask her to tell her what you need to shed in order to enter. What you need to shed the same way that she sheds her skins. What beliefs and notions ideas do you need to let go of to recover your grace? What needs to die so that you can be reborn? What needs to be born inside of you? Ask for her permission to enter, her safety, her guidance, and give her your offering. The guide opens the gate. You are drawn into the altar of the sacred temple to be dismembered as you call on Aurora Boreas, the guardian of life and death. You call on her to ask her to guide you and take you to the altar. Do not be afraid. On this altar, you will be stripped away from everything that's not part of your essential self, your job, your responsibilities, your emails, your to-do list, your obligations, your identities, your memories, your childhood, and perhaps even your name. Let yourself be stripped down to your essential self, who you have always been since the beginning of time. And feel standing in that essential self. Now, ask the guide to lead you into the realm of ancestors. As you enter this room, this realm, before you are all the ancestors who have held the sacred knowledge and carried it down through all of history. They maintain the ancient pool of flames and keep the way open to and from it. These ancestors are stewards of the goddess and the spirit of the divine feminine. They move between the worlds and they show us who we are by reminding us what shaped us in the past. They offer us a flaming torch when all artificial lights fail to show us the way ahead. The ancestral female spirit moves about in the flickering flames of a torch and hearth and gives life to ancient memory. They glide across the threshold that separates past and present and carry with them the essence of a time when humankind lived in harmony and the divine feminine led the way. These ancestors give life to ancient memories, and they ask us to recall. They welcome you into the center of their circle and envelop you in their wisdom. Here, let them hold that most wounded part of you, the part that needs the comfort and love of the Great Mother. Ask that part of you what it needs now in the depth of this moment to be healed. Receive the healing that you need. Now they offer you a sacred chalice and ask you to drink from this cup so that you may know the truth of who you are, the divine feminine energy that needs to be claimed and awakened. As you feel this elixir enter your body, you are filled with the power of your ancestors. In this moment, feel their power and their love. Ask them what wisdom they need to impart to you so that you can reclaim the goddess part of you that has been lost. What do you need to know to reclaim that part of you, that goddess part of you? And listen now for their answer. Let their message sink into you. Feel their support and knowledge take hold and root deep in your innermost knowing. Now you are ready to journey into the realm of oaths. As the guardian guides you into them, you see a mirror showing your divine goddess self. Gaze deeply into this mirror. Ask yourself, what oaths have you made that no longer serve you, that need to be eliminated? What contracts, agreements, commitments have hindered you from living your deepest truth, kept you from standing in your compassion, kept you from walking on the divine feminine path? Allow these oaths to be dissolved, to deteriorate, to scatter into a million pieces. Declare these oaths to be null and void. Now ask yourself, what must you wholeheartedly commit to honor this part of yourself? What oath must you make in this moment to never forsake your divine feminine power? What solemn oath must you take to fully commit to embodying your divine goddess essence? Know that this is the great wisdom of the ancient shamans, that whatever agreement you entered into with life, with the cosmos, that the cosmos will live up to as long as you live up to your part. So take your time to come up with the sacred oath that you want to enter into with spirit. And when you have that, bring it into your heart center and let this become the guiding principle, the guiding contract in your life that can bring you to your highest destiny and your highest possibility. State out loud, in this moment, I make this sacred oath to never forsake that which is my divine birthright, my goddess self, my divine feminine energy that shines throughout me always. Feel the power of making this divine, sacred oath. Now you're ready to enter the realm of wholeness and embodiment. Revealed to you is a sacred temple where you have come to connect with your fully realized self. Here you will find that goddess part of you that needs to be reclaimed. Ask to meet the self that has remained whole and in a state of grace. Let this part of yourself reveal itself in whatever form it takes. Ask questions such as, who are you? What gifts do you bring to me? How can I look after you and protect you? What parts of me must change in order for you to remain with me? Ask what needs to be healed and reclaimed to fully embody your goddess self. What part of you have you neglected that must now be honored and exalted? Give that part of you whatever it needs. Ask the goddess part of you if if it is ready to journey with you. Our next destination is the realm of magic, where you will discover what sacred gift you must use to fulfill your goddess journey. Your newly reclaimed goddess self will gather whatever tools, medicine, magic it needs to express its mission and purpose. In fact, these magic medicine gifts carry within them the power to manifest a new dimension of expression in your life. Before you is a magic bowl. Pick it up, hold it, feel its power. This bowl holds your magic medicine. What do you want to put in it? In this realm, allow your special treasure, your magic essence, to be revealed to you. Recognize its power. Decipher its meaning. Fill your bowl with what has been revealed. Take the power of the medicine and absorb it into your deepest knowing. Allow it to course through your veins. Let your entire body reconfigure and know that you now hold the power of the goddess. You can call on it whenever you need it. Now we're going to prepare to make our way back. And just thank the guide and ask her to take you back to the altar where you were dismembered. And here on this altar, allow yourself to be remembered again, to be remembered with this new knowledge in place. Let this become your new way of being in the world, your new embodiment of spirit. Let yourself be remembered. Feel yourself coming back into this life, into this world, this identity that you have, and knowing that none of these things define you. They only give you a certain kind of permission and ability to relate with the world that you live in, but that they are not who you truly are. And begin to make your way out of this temple. Exit the gates and walk towards the river where you emerged. And I'd like you to dive back into the waters and allow the waters to take you back to the tree roots. Let the water wash away any energies that you may not bring back with you into our world, into the middle world, knowing that in your heart, you have this new knowledge, this new embodiment, this new gift. And let yourself follow the roots back up out of the world tree, coming out of the tree and entering the meadow, back onto that white stone path and up through the portal to our circle, traveling back to now, to this moment, to this circle. And to close this circle, using our unbending intent, we're going to start in the east and thank the archetype of the element of air, gifting us with vision. Turning to the south, we thank the archetype for the element of fire, giving us passion. Turning to the west, we thank the archetype for the element of water, gifting us with magic. Exiting from the north, we thank the archetype for the element of earth, gifting us with purpose. And we thank Mother Earth, Father Sun, Grandmother Moon, and our star brothers and sisters for assisting us this day.
Wow. That's amazing. That is an amazing journey, Cathy. Thank you.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
really one of the things I really wanted to do was to draw that lineage from our ancestors and their knowledge, because I feel like it's our job, it's our duty as women on this goddess path to be their lineage, to reclaim what they lost, and to be a beacon and a voice for it, because they really did know something vital to not just our survival, but to all of humanity's and all living things' survival. And we really need to take that charge up. We are their warriors in a way.
Yeah, we are. Because we are changing. We are changing the world. We're ending the old and we're ready to begin the new. The new world, as everybody's been dreaming of for very many thousands of years.
Yeah.
Coming. So thank you. It was really amazing. I love the journey. I just,
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad.
it was really powerful. It was really powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, everyone. So
Thank you.
this is the beginning of it. So it's continue. You'll see.
Yeah.
There's more to come.